Every website, every database, every API, every service running on the internet right now is communicated through a open port. Without an open port, nothing works, period. So when the hiring manager asks you, how do you check open port on the Linux system? He is not asking another basic question. He is explicitly testing if you understand inbound and outbound traffic flow to a server. In this video, I will show you 4 ways to answer that question like a pro. The first 3 ways, every single senior engineer know it already. But the 4 ways is your secret weapon. It's your unique ticket to the next round. Before we start, I want you to understand something very important. Checking open port on your system is not a one game command. It's a 4 layers process, and each process tell you something completely different. Miss one of those layers and you will spend hours troubleshooting something that should take 30 seconds. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Oboso. The first layers of method 1 is to use systemctl status. This is the first command you run when a service is not responding. Not because it tells you everything, but because it tells you right away if the problem is the service itself or something else. When we run this command, there are 3 pieces of information here that we should check. The first one is to check if our service is active or not. The second is the main process ID. And the last one is actually the reason that we are running this command is to find out which port this service is listening on, and we can find that right here. Server configure listen on port 80. So our Apache server is currently listening inbound and outbound traffic on port 80. The last method of layer 4 will give you your ticket to the next round. But layers 2 or methods 2 will tell the hiring manager that you are a really engineer, not somebody who only memorizes command. Method 2 is a source of truth because you get the application port from his own configuration file. Many people don't know that the best way to get any application call is to grab it, is to get it from his own configuration file. We should always consider check the configuration file when we are troubleshooting application issue relating to traffic flow, because we can troubleshooting a connection issue for many hours at the end to realize that someone modified the port and he didn't provide the update. So this is how we check that. For this case, we're gonna check for Apache server. Like you can see here, the configuration file, the power file is telling us that our application is listed on port 80. Layer 3, this is the layer most tutorial completely skip, and this is explicitly the layer where most production problems actually live. Your service is running, your config file say port 80, but the application is still not reachable from outside. Most engineers at this point start restarting service, rebooting server, opening ticket, but the answer is almost always right there. And here is it. Use the firewall, the firewall-cmd command, release all to see if that port is open. For our case, the port is not open. Now we can see right here, there is no port open. We have service up here, but the HTTP service is not allowed. This means that if somebody from the upside try to access our service, he will not be able to access any service through port 80. However, through our local host and our system IP address, we can access the service, because the firewall does not block service traffic access to local host and the system IP address. Let's get our IP address. Here we have port 80. So we can access the content of this HTML file. Welcome, thanks for watching, subscribe for more, and hopefully you subscribe already to my channel. If you did already, thank you, and if you haven't, kindly go ahead and subscribe today. So the firewall command list all is a very powerful command that tells us about open port or our system. Let's try to open the port 80 and use the firewall list all to see if we can be able to see that port LE over here. Go like this. We should be in the public zone. Public zone. Add. LE. Hyphen. Permanent. Okay. Pour select this protocol. Oh, okay, we missed the TCP. Okay. Yep. It's a TCP port. We missed the TCP. We missed the protocol. That's why it failed. Now we should be good. Great. Okay. Right now we're gonna hello the firewall and we're gonna check it. So hello me that we are going to update the firewall without interrupt the current firewall process running. Okay. Now we should have our, here we go. So we have our port LE using the TCP protocol. So that is the third layer. So the third layer is to use the firewall list all command and come to the port directive right here to ensure that that port is open . And now the moment you have been waiting for, the 4 layers. This answer make you stand out. It make you stand out because you provide very important explanation. So you're gonna tell the hiring manager that you use the Nesta command with the flag tune BN. And you're going to explain that you use this command because it provides an overview of all the opening port on your system. For example, for our port LE, we have the port, we have the process, and the port is also the service using the port. But what is going to make you stand out is when you're going to tell the hiring manager that Nesta is deprecating on modern Linux system. This is going to tell the hiring manager that you know the difference between legacies and current Linux utility tool or command line. So then use the Nesta command. You're going to say that you currently use the SS command. This is a lot of information, so let's just create port LE. So it gives you a little bit more information because we can see user here, user. However, at the nutshell, it gives you almost all the information that Nesta does. Because one of the most important things we are looking is the port. We are looking at the service using the port, and finally, the PID, the process ID. So on the modern system, we can use SS and we can also use Nesta, which is actually my favorite command on the Linux system. So let me take the time to explain to you the meaning of tune PL. The T stands for TCP. Now you can see TCP. The U stands for UDP. The N stands for numeric, only show port number, no service. The P here stands for process ID, like you can see here. And finally, the L stands for list port only. Now you have them, and I hope for your next Linux interview, if this question come up, you will nail it. You know the 4 layers that allow you to ensure that any port on your system is open. The first layer is to use the systemctl statute command. The second is to check from the source of truth, which is the configuration file. The third layer is to the firewall command with the flag -, list all. And finally, the 4 layers, the master layers, is to use the SS with the flag tune PL. Before you go, check the description below. I have put together the list of the most asking Linux question into a PDF. It doesn't matter you are doing a Linux interview, a cloud interview, or the DevOps interview. That list definitely is going to help you. So make sure that you pick up a copy.